up? My name is Melissa and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I am so happy to have you here. So today's video is basically, I saw this idea, I think on Pinterest, which came from TikTok, and I don't remember where it came from or who had this idea. Basically, it's talking about, or I want to talk about, spicy books that are not 50 Shades of Grey. So I had read in my many years of reading lots of spicy books other than just 50 Shades of Grey. It wasn't exactly my first smutty book, but it's definitely one that I know a lot of people first started reading, and due to that, kind of the love of romance really grew, and I just want to talk about some more really good books that you can dive into and get that sauciness, that spiciness, that steaminess, all of that good stuff from these books. So I have a couple good books to talk about, so let's go ahead and get started. The very first book I'm going to talk about is one of my favorite series ever, and that is the Fallen Men series, but particularly Inked in Lies by Gianna Darling. So this is one of her newer ones that recently came out, I think last year. She has a new one. I still need to read it. A couple new ones actually, but this is another age gap romance. All of them are age gap romances. All of them are motorcycle club, steamy romances that have so much heart and depth and really just more than just a smutty book. These are quite long actually, and I know she recently just published some special edition hardback covers, which I really want to get myself. This book in particular is about Lila and Nova, or Casanova, and I have been waiting a very long time to read about this couple. So this is an older brother's best friend type situation, and oh my gosh, I absolutely adore this. You definitely should read all of the books. You don't have to read them in order, but it definitely gives you a lot more backstory. I think definitely with this one, because some things in the previous books happened that will definitely spoil you if you dive into this one first, but I definitely really enjoyed this one a lot. If you like motorcycle romances, definitely pick up this series. It's a ton of fun and I don't think you'll be disappointed. There is a lot of hype surrounding these books, but I think it's very well deserved and well worth it and worth your time. So Welcome to the Dark Side is still my favorite out of all of them, but this one is definitely a close second, and I really want to start the other one, which I think is about Priest is his name, and he's like the crazy one, and I'm really excited to check that one out. The next one is by an author that I will forever adore and love, and I still need to read her newest book, but the one I'm going to talk about today is Credence by Penelope Douglas. So this is kind of a very taboo romance. It's about a girl whose parents end up committing suicide together. They are very selfish people. Anyways, so to kind of get over and move out of the limelight, because her mom and father were quite famous, she needs to get away, so she ends up moving in with her step uncle, so her father's step brother, so there's no blood relation. She moves out to Colorado where he is with his two sons. Yes, two. There's 3 men in total that kind of surround this girl, and it has a secluded cabin in the woods during the winter time. They have to, you know, make all these preparations for the winter, because once they get snowed in, that's all they have is each other. So this has age gap, it has like dubious consent, it has very taboo older man uncle type situation. You have like motocross happening in this, I think, and just so much fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It's definitely not for everyone, but again, definitely well worth it if you do pick it up. So this one, I didn't know who she was going to end up with. It's kind of a reverse harem in the fact that there's 3 men that really surround this girl, support her, and really just help her, you know, through this situation, I guess you could say. But yes, I didn't know who she was going to end up with, whether it be all 3 or just one, but yeah, definitely liked this one so much. Very good. The next book I'm going to talk about is one that I recently just finished, like literally last night, and I adored it. Gave it 5 stars, and that's Neon Gods by Katie Robert. This is so good. I think Katie Robert will always knock it out of the park for me. She brings the steam in every single, like spicy scene that she writes about. This is a Hades and Persephone retelling, not to be confused with the retellings of the Wicked Villain series, which also has another Hades in it, but this is different. This is her traditionally published novel, and I loved it so much. So you have Persephone, who finds out that she is getting married to Zeus, and basically they're these figureheads in this society, and she does not want that. She wants to get out of Olympus, this city, and, you know, get her inheritance. So she ends up running away after they announce that she's going to be married to him soon, and it ends up where she basically has to cross the river Styx, and who does she run into? Of course, it's Hades, and this is their kind of grumpy sunshine arranged fake dating type situation where, you know, she's going to pretend to be dating him so that way Zeus won't want her anymore because she's sullied goods. So I really enjoyed it. I think this was super spicy. You really see our main character Hades and what he went through, and you really feel for him as a character. It's a dual perspective point of view book, and I thoroughly enjoyed this one a lot. I definitely could have read this book in one day, but I ended up getting distracted with K-dramas, so here we are. Yes, definitely read this one and really quickly loved it so much. The next book I'm going to talk about is one just by the cover, I think you can tell this is a little bit spicy, a little bit steamy, and that is A Lesson in Thorns by Sierra Simone. This book has a touch of mystery. It has some like different, you know, perspectives, and it has one of the main characters, I think her name is Poe, and she goes into this library and she's gonna like categorize everything and really help the books. And I really like, not help the books, but what is it called when like she has to, I don't know, I can't think of the word, but anyways, it's her job to go back to this house where her parents and her other friend's parents met one time, and after one day they all disappeared and they like never saw each other again pretty much. This book has a lot of different representation. It has plus size rep, it has bisexual representation, polyamorous representation, a bunch of other things in it. I really liked this because it's very atmospheric. You get a lot of steamy scenes, these friends that come together back at this house again, and they are trying to figure out what their parents were up to. Our main character Poe has narcolepsy, so she's dealing with that as well, and I just love this book. It ends on quite the cliffhanger. I have the second book on my shelves. I need to read it. It was so good. But I heard the second one's not as good, but I think I definitely really need to try it, especially during the fall season. I think this book is absolutely perfect. Again, these steamy scenes are written so well, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, give me more of this book. I need it. This cover is just something else, that's to say. And yeah, if you like, you know, all of the things that I mentioned, definitely pick this one up. Has a little bit of thriller in it. It was very good. The next one I want to talk about is one I think I talked about most recently in one of my videos, but I'm going to keep talking about it because I really enjoyed this one so much, and that is A Lady of Rooks Grave Manor by Catherine Moon. This is a reverse harem. Of course, I had to talk more about more reverse harems. It's a monster one where our girl, she basically is down on her luck, needs a job, ends up finding one where she can be an escort at this manor, but they're not normal men that go to this place and have a membership. No, they are monsters, and she ends up really enjoying her job, which was really great to see. She just really embraced who she was and, you know, did not apologize for it at all, which was fabulous. I loved the men in this book because of who they were and like all the things that they had to deal with society, whatever, and they really found their place with our main character, and there's a mystery involved in this and a lot of different crazy things happen. It definitely keeps you on your toes. I'm pretty sure I read this on Kindle Unlimited if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, definitely one to pick up if you like something a little bit steamy, a little bit spicy, or rather really steamy, really spicy, and a little weird because, again, like I said, monster reverse harem. but tons of fun. All right, and to talk about books that I don't have physically, the first one is For Psychos. This is a book that I talked about in one of my reverse harem book things. This one is so much fun. I still have yet to read, I think, book 3 and book 4. I still haven't finished this series. I know I'm absolutely terrible. I need to do this. But this is about a girl who has no memory of her past. Basically, she's kind of like this ghost. And the only time that she really begins to feel like a person or feel like herself is when she's around these 4 men. She has this really crazy personality, and I just really liked hearing her internal thoughts and the things that she would do to these men and think while all this stuff is going on. So she kind of like haunts them because the only way that she can kind of be in existence is when she's with them. So eventually she becomes corporal, and they don't want to have anything to do with her because they have their own stuff going on. And this was so good. So it has like that 4 horsemen in it, and you see like demons and hell and all of this fun stuff. It has witty commentary, all of that. I adored this series, or what I've read of it so far. So definitely need to finish it very soon, but well worth definitely checking these books out. Okay, so one that I don't think I really even talked about, if at all, if maybe in a wrap up, but that is Sins by Candace Wondrak. This is a bully high school romance, but has a twist. Our main character has been kidnapped. She's been missing for 5 years. Somehow she escapes, and she ends up, you know, coming back to a world that she doesn't really recognize. She doesn't remember. Her mom has remarried, and she has 2 stepbrothers who are her bullies. And this book was full of twists and turns I did not see coming. It's definitely spicy. It's definitely steamy. It's definitely dark. I really enjoyed this one a lot. I just think that Candace Wondrak, of the series and books that I've read and loved, I will read them again for sure. And this one, I feel like at the very end, I even wanted more from it. There are other series in the same kind of world, and even called, like one called Mid Park High. So that's one of the things I really like about this author's books, is they're all kind of interconnected. Sometimes you see some cross-referencing and characters popping up in other books, which is really cool to see. So if you are looking for a good, you know, it's not truly a verse harem because I think there's 2 guys in it, but it was still a lot of fun. I just really had a lot of fun with this. I believe I gave it 5 stars. Definitely check it out. The next book I'm going to talk about is called The Unrequited by Saffron A. Kent. This one is kind of dark, and I absolutely, obviously love a good dark romance. This is about a girl who has been labeled as like a crazy person. I mean, she does stalk her new teacher, who she basically kind of like begins this obsession with, and he's married, and all of this stuff kind of happens, and I freaking love this. I really like books that have kind of some mental illness or mental kind of psychos, all of that stuff that really kind of delves in and like really gets me. I just love those types of books, and this one really had that in it. This one definitely is forbidden. Like I said, he's her teacher, he is married, and what more can I say? There's definitely, you know, some stalking scenes in this, and I really liked that our girl main character was kind of the unbalanced one in the situation rather than the guy. So that was a lot of fun to see, and this was one that really stuck with me and I think about a lot. I definitely want to get a physical copy of this book because I adore it so much, and I definitely want to do a reread pretty soon. But I've read another book by this author that I truly loved called The Medicine Man, I think, and there are some other books that kind of are in the same world and are cross-referenced as well, with the characters are kind of pop up in other ones. So really good. Check it out if you like kind of like that dark psycho type situation, and especially the girl. It's a lot of fun. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching my spicy, steamy romance books that aren't 50 Shades of Grey. Like I said, I really love a good romance book, especially once they're good, bad, or in between. The characters get their happy endings, and it's absolutely fabulous to see that happen. If you read any of the books or have any thoughts or opinions, want to give me any recommendations, leave them down below, and I hope you have a great day and happy reading. Bye.